There are tons of business podcasts to choose from, but only one has the stamp of approval. Kristin Stampini is South Florida's leading real estate entrepreneur and your trusted source for everything real estate.
I would like to welcome my listeners and thank you for joining us today with another episode of my podcast, The Stamp of Approval. I'm Kristin Stampini, co-founder of the Stampini team with RE/MAX Services in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm also a certified real estate coach for Craig Proctor Systems and the owner of Global Virtual Real Estate Assistants. I'm a real estate investor and a national trainer and public speaker. So the Stamp of Approval podcast was launched to share and educate other realtors, consumers, and other business owners across North America by sharing value and content to my listeners in each and every episode, as well as share my personal experiences, my triumphs and failures, and strength throughout my entire life with the hope of my audience being able to expand their knowledge of everything real estate, business, sales, and mindset oriented. So today I have my dear friend, Jennifer Wehner, who is also, she's in the Craig Proctor system. And also I have been coaching Jennifer throughout the years, and she is an amazing realtor and entrepreneur and has been extremely successful in real estate. So Jennifer, she's been in real estate since 2003 and places in the top 15 realtors out of 16,000 realtors in Arizona region. And the MLS is the top for Dave Ramsey endorsed local providers in her area. She also leads a team of 20 plus agent and staff, has sold over 200 homes in the last 12 months, totaling over $85 million in total real estate. Yep, that's 85 million in total real estate volume. Jennifer has a relentless commitment to providing the highest level of customer service to her clients and prides herself on creating custom and creative solutions for any and all real estate needs. And Jennifer is also passionate about giving back to agent community on a national scale and improving the quality of service that the industry provides to consumers via high quality customer service and advancement in technology. And just let me tell you, listeners out there, that Jennifer, working with her the past several years, I can attest to everything that was just said about Jennifer. She is always looking for better ways, innovative ways also, on how to better the people that work for her, number one. Okay, so from her staff to the client experience, to the agents, and also to the clients out there, to the buyers, to the sellers. I mean, she is so committed to making sure that she is trying to improve that every single day that she's in real estate. And I'm so excited to have Jennifer here. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much, Kristin, for that warm welcome. I'm excited to be here today.
Well, I'm so excited to have you. Jennifer, knowing you throughout the past few years, I mean, you are so committed to the client and to your team and to the growth and to the community and to the real estate community. And I'm just so proud to have watched your growth over the last few years. And like I said, I'm so excited to have you. So today, what we're going to talk about, and what Jennifer, again, is really, really passionate about, is actually the client experience. So let's just go ahead and jump right in and let's talk about it. So tell me about the client experience.
Yeah, I actually started growing my team on internet leads, and it's still a big part of our business. But the great thing that throughout the years is by providing excellent customer service and having a great client follow-up program, we have really grown our referrals so much that it was actually our number one lead source last year.
Wow.
And that was a growing team because last year we only had 4 sales agents up until about September. And now we're at 10 outside sales agents. So earning those referrals and reviews are so important. The way I like to look at a transaction is that we're not looking at the GCI of the check that we're going to get, but we're looking at that transaction at what kind of referrals and reviews did I earn from this piece of business and from this client.
Yeah, and that's so GCI, just so everybody on here knows, and if you aren't an agent, is that's gross commission income that we earn per transaction. So like she said, she's not looking at that. And I do absolutely know that. She's looking about the client experience and what they're having from the time that they, like she said, the time that they go onto the website and then the experience they have from who reaches out to them. So, explain how your team works. So you have somebody that reaches out to them quick, right?
Yeah. So, we had a debate a while ago because we do a lot of different, we have about 8 different pillars of our business. And some of the pillars of business are, we had, is it speed to lead more important, or is it the quality of the person calling? And actually it's both. So not only do you have to answer the call live or respond to an online inquiry within 5 minutes, but you better know your stuff. You better know the neighborhood that they're calling in. You better have access. You better know how to handle the clients. We really looking to form a connection. And, one way we do that is just we get into Ford, family, occupation, recreation, dreams, but really getting them to talk because, a lot of buyers in today's economy, they just want to go see a house right away. And they're not looking at trying to hire you as an agent. They're looking at just seeing the house. So if we can form that connection, we have a lot better chance of earning their business.
So how do you form that connection? What do you guys do to try to form that connection?
Well, first of all, it takes practice, right? Like, especially as a growing team, we need to make sure that we're all collectively answering the calls the same way. So when somebody comes to the Wehner group, they're not getting a different experience depending on what day and time that they call in. So we role play 5 days a week, super important. But it really is about forming the connection. So a lot of times, if we're taking a Zillow call, and by the way, Zillow knows the client experience is really important to companies like Zillow, which is why they went a different route in the way they sent leads, because the average agent, studies show, gets back to a consumer in 18 hours. So it takes 18 hours on average to get back to an inquiry. And it's still happening today. We just had a buyer come in and buy 3 $600,000 homes, and he said he had been inquiring on Zillow for 2 days, and we were the only company to answer the call.
Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, those stats are, just like how many times you follow up. So usually, you guys get back whatever within 5 minutes, or you answer live, and she said that 18 hours, but then usually people don't even follow up, right?
Some don't follow up at all. Sometimes it's a day later. Sometimes it's 2 days later. I experience this when we go to look for referral agents, if we don't already have a relationship in a certain city. And I'll go through Zillow and see all the reviews. And sometimes it'll take me a day to find an agent. And I'm like, did you literally call me back a day later? That's embarrassing. So yeah, and it's very competitive here in Phoenix with 60,000 agents. Unless you're, somebody that doesn't leave their house. You have to know at least 3 or 4 agents, and, you're probably related to one of them as well.
That's right. Well, and the one thing that she said is, that I picked up on right away is that she said everybody's the same. So it's unified. So what do? You have systems, right, for that?
Exactly. Everything has to be built on systems.
And you have yeah, go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So the way that we answer the call, just, hi, this is Jennifer with the Wehner Group, to the kinds of questions that we ask, and what we do after we set an appointment, how we follow up after an appointment. If we don't get the appointment, how we follow up if it's a hot buyer, meaning they're buying now, or maybe it's a nurture buyer or a seller that is looking to buy or sell in 3 to 6 months, or maybe it's what we call a watch, and that's somebody that is usually a year or more out. And there's different ways we follow up with each one of those prospects. So yeah, it's very, it's very about adding value and making that connection.
And one of the things is you do a lot of training, right? To make sure that that's happening in every aspect of your company.
We are very intense on training. We actually just spent the last day and a half with our EXP team all on training. And I know our agents were raving about how awesome it was. We have role play. We have our Tuesday sales meetings, and every Friday we have a Friday workshop where we workshop one thing. So what on this Friday, for example, will be pricing, and it'll be very interactive where we give a property, everyone goes around, gives their price, and we talk about making sure we're not overpricing listings and how to instruct sellers to price right. So we also have call nights. That was last night. We had call night, and we all got together, pizza and wine, and it was a lot of fun. And we all got to hear each other's conversations, so we're also learning from each other. I know, there's one specific agent who's really awesome on our team, and she always, every time I hear her making calls, she drops a nugget. And I'll be able to use that nugget over and over and over again. So yeah, we're very intense on training. We obviously are with Craig Proctor. We go to his events throughout the year. He has webinars. So
you invest a lot of money and time in educating yourself to be the best, right, for the customers out there, the client experience, and for your agents.
Absolutely. And one of our core values, and it's actually my favorite core value, is never stop learning and growing. And everybody that works for the Wehner Group has to abide by that core value, and they have to love it. I've even made a commitment that this is so important to me that I will let somebody go and release them back into the workforce if they don't embrace that core value.
I love it.
Yeah. So if you're showing up and you're complacent and you don't feel that you can get any better and you're not excited about coming to our trainings, then you're probably not, you aren't a fit for our team.
Well, and something that I've seen and watched you grow. I mean, I've seen you double your business pretty much every year. Okay, since I've known you, since I've been a part with you, and it's because of the things that you've done in your client experiences and for your agents and for the real estate, for everybody in real estate. And one thing that you have done to really do that is you're passionate about everything you do in real estate. And I really think that you do such an awesome job at, the client experience, that you are always looking at that client experience to make it better and educating them. One thing I saw on Facebook that you did that was really, really good and different than most every person, I have never seen really anybody do it at the level you did. A couple things that I'm going to point out, and I think it's really good for the client experience is, number one is the education that you gave, where you gave, because a lot of people think that pricing their home high is, when you're working with a seller, pricing the home high to see as much as you get, that's not always the best thing to do, is it? It's not the best experience for the client. Why?
No, especially right now we are in a shifting market. It's not 2010, but it is a market that we're seeing price appreciation starting to slow down. We're starting to see demand slow down. Supply isn't really up, but it's a lot more. We're actually just transitioning to a more normal market. So sellers can't be in that hyper frenzy market, and especially I do a lot of luxury too. So overpricing actually most always ends in a lower net selling price at the end of the day, and it's really being able to demonstrate that for them. And showing them and actually just putting them into the buyer's shoes. So if you were, looking at a home and you ask the agent, well, you go into a home, you're excited, you're imagining like where your kid's crib's going to be and where the place that's going to go. And then you ask your agent, how many days on market is this? And your agent says, well, 240. And we're in an area where 30 to 60 days is average. All of a sudden your mindset completely shifts. And now even if you make an offer, you're making it out of concern and worry that maybe this isn't the right one. And you're not going to make as high of an offer, and you're certainly not going to come up as much in the counter process. So, when I explain that to sellers, and these are real examples, real stories of this, they can a lot of times start to understand. But you really have to show them, how it actually plays into their net selling price.
Well, and I saw, like I was started on Facebook, that you did that. I mean, you did a great education for the consumers and for even agents just a couple weeks ago on the market and what's happening and why you want to price your home right, and just things like that. You just do differently than most people out there, and you do a great job at it. Plus, you have a full marketing team, right? So you're always having your marketing team, looking at how to take the listings you have and to do all the marketing you do to try to sell them faster and for the most amount of money all the time. But also you do a lot of fun marketing for those listings. And I've seen a lot of that on Facebook too, which is really awesome. And she does little videos, and her marketing team, puts all that together and just does a great job for the client experience, and working with them. They're always looking out for the client experience. So if you were to give a couple of recommendations to the agent out there on how to make the client experience better, what would you tell them?
It really goes from start to finish. Buyers today, they're looking for that Amazon-like experience. They are looking to have the red carpet rolled out for them. So from the minute that you answer the phone, be aware of how you're engaging with the client. If you're in a really, really bad mood, or maybe you've had a few cocktails, maybe that's, not the time to talk to the client. As far as working with them, doing a very thorough buyer consultation, having a really solid listing presentation, being the expert in your niche, and meeting your client's needs. So when we meet with buyers, we're not just like, get in the car, let's go. We do a buyer consultation for every buyer that we work with. And with our seller consultation, it goes from the call to what we send them via email for the appointments to our pre-listing packet. So before I ever go into the door, they know all about me, and they're already know what to expect. They're already prepared for what kind of marketing and what kind of team we are. And throughout the transaction, one thing that we implemented that has been really powerful is surveys throughout the transaction. So once we get through the pre-listing for sellers, we send them a survey. Once they get through escrow, we send them 2 surveys through escrow and then 1 at the end. And that's all for us to really gauge like how the client is feeling. Because sometimes I think I've done a great job. I've sold the house for top dollar in a quick amount of time, and I'm patting myself on the back. And then I go and ask for a Zillow review, and the client says, hey, I'm not that happy. Like, you didn't bring a buyer to our house, or you didn't have an open house, or whatever reason. But if I had known that prior, I could have had a chance to make up for it and explain so that the seller did know our value. And if we make a mistake, we have a chance to make up for it as well.
I love that. So how many actually sellers or buyers are filling those surveys out?
More and more. We're getting surveys every day. We're doing buyers when they start their, after they've signed the consultation, the buyers we call it a buyer's advantage. And then we do it after 30 days into their home search. And then we do it throughout escrow and at the end. So maybe they're like not during the search process, maybe they're not getting enough personal touch from their clients, or maybe they're not getting the right home sent to them, whatever it is. We want a chance to be able to correct and improve our service to them, rather than just either lose them as a client or they close and they're just not happy. And we certainly didn't create a raving fan in that way.
Wow, I love that. And then what do you think the percentage? 10, 20 filling that out? What's the percentage you think?
Well, sellers higher because sellers have already signed and they're in the process. They're about 50%. Buyers probably right now, not as much. We're probably at like 10%, but we're getting better. And we're even using surveys. We're going to be starting surveys throughout the team. So having our OSAs, outside sales agents, survey the transaction coordinator, and the transaction coordinator surveying the outside sales agent. So we can also work more cohesively as a team.
And are you doing anything special to get those surveys filled out?
No, we just send them. We do something special for the Zillow review. So we find that people actually want to, because we are asking them, It's sent through SurveyMonkey. It's really easy. It's kind of like gamification, makes it like fun for them to answer. It's like 5 questions. So we actually find that they like to fill those out.
Yeah,
but the review is a little bit more, it's not as fun. So we do some things with giving, we send them a Starbucks card or movie tickets. We'll have a review contest where we'll even up the ante. We'll donate to their charity of choice or our charity of choice, which is Sunshine Acres Children's Home. We try to send it before closing. So, after you close, you're moving, everything gets lost. So there's some things we do to just build that up. But
well, and one more thing, the last thing I want to say is that you have, when you're talking about the transaction and the client experience and everything, you've done a great job at creating videos also for the client of what's next, right? Because that's a lot of the time where the issues are, is they don't understand what's next.
So once we get, and this is also a thing where it's scalable and it's the same experience no matter what agent you're working with. Once we get an escrow, we do send them a video along with a template email. So some people like to read, some people like to watch. Our transaction coordinators do a second consultation where they say, when do you have time for about 20, 30 minutes, answer all their questions on the process, how that goes.
I love that. I have never heard that before. That is a great nugget right there.
Yeah. And we do gifting throughout the process. And actually, we've spent $1,000 on a luxury, closing gift or really elaborate closing gifts. One of our most popular gifts is our, right after the inspection period. I know that's a frustrating process for both buyers and sellers. Everyone hates it. Agents hate it. And we send them a popcorn candy in a little bucket and says, sit back, relax, and enjoy a movie on us. And it's like $10 to send out, but it's our most popular gift because our clients feel like, oh, you're with us, you feel our pain, and it's totally unexpected.
Well, there you go with the client experience. So again, I'm gonna just, because you keep giving nuggets out. So how many little things do you give just to show them that you do care throughout the process, throughout the transaction?
We do a welcome gift when they sign with us. And
what is that usually?
It's like some local goodies, some cartel coffee, some chocolates. We have these little cookies that this little girl who has Down syndrome who started her own business makes. So just some products that we're really excited about, and we just say our promise to them, our commitment to them, and also sets precedent for how they can refer us to their family and friends. And then we do the inspection gift, and then we do at closing, we do a customized closing gift, and the agents get to customize the gift. We have it actually on our internal website, and they could pick their gift. And everything is, it's at cost. So we make sure we buy in bulk and make sure we're getting a good product, but not spending a crazy amount of money, because being profitable is super important.
Yeah, absolutely.
We do client events throughout the year. So, we're all throughout the year, we're inviting them to things like free movies. We did a racetrack. We did a big Halloween party. That was a big hit. So, yeah, a lot of things that we're doing to provide value.
And what was your percent on your percentage of your business? What was repeat and referral business last year?
Last year was 34%.
Wow.
So, which is, for what I spend on a lot of my lead sources, it was definitely my highest ROI. And, so it's been great. And, a lot of it is just we have awesome agents. I really say that. I trust them. And that's just because I do hire and fire by my core values.
Yeah. And you have learned over the years, right? That it's more and more important.
The hard way, well, more than once.
Well, and you know what? But look what it's paying off now. And Jennifer, wow, she gave us multiple nuggets. Number 1, survey your clients throughout the process. Number 2, make sure you not just get back to them fast, but you're always offering them value. Okay. And then when you're working with them, again, surveying them, make the client experience great, make the entire process, make sure that they know what's going to happen next when they're going under contract. And then make sure that afterwards that you you are continuing to follow up. So and you're having client events and things like that. And how do you follow up with them after the closing and everything else?
We have a flow. So we are sending regular market reports out. We retarget. We send a newsletter out. We have a newsletter video, good old fashioned phone calls. We do have a Facebook group specifically for our raving fans. We are in the process of implementing our VIP Raving Fans program.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
Yeah, and that will be unrolling next month. So yeah, then that's just another touch for our top 5% of clients.
Yeah, that's great. So if somebody would like to give you a referral, tell them the area that you work, number one. And also if they want to reach out to you, ask you questions about the, client experience or give them some more information, how can they reach you?
Yeah, well, I am on Facebook. So Jennifer Wehner, Wehner. I know it's spelled a little weird. It's Jennifer Wehner. They can reach out to me via email, which is jennifer@jenniferwehner.com. They can also reach out to me. I'll give my phone number here, and that's 480-748-6925.
Awesome. And what areas do you work?
We work all of Maricopa County. Our office hub here is in Scottsdale, and we do have agents that specialize in different neighborhoods in both Maricopa and Pinal County.
Wow.
So that's a Phoenix area.
Well, thank you so much, listeners, and thank you, Jennifer. This is a great episode. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Kristin.